Hey everyone, this is Tables 2, and for this video, I went ahead and did it already, and you can use this to check your work to see if you're right. If you're stuck on something and need to know how to do it, go back to Tables 1. That shows you how to do all of these types of problems. So watch that video, and then just use this one to check your work. So let's start with number 1. From input to output, 43 to 30, 32 to 19, 19 to 6, you find out that the numbers are going down. So if you find the difference between the two numbers, starting with the bigger number and subtracting the smaller number, every time you find a pattern of minus 13. So if you check your rule, 43 minus 13 equals 30, that matches the output. 32 minus 13 equals 19, that matches. Then 19 minus 13 equals 6, that matches too. So you can officially put in your box, your rule is minus 13. And then you can solve for this empty box. So 71, the rule, minus 13, you get 58. Let's look at number 2. So number 2, from input to output, 90 to 103, 93 to 106, 87 to 100, the numbers are going up. That means addition or multiplication. Now, to check to find a pattern, we're still going to use subtraction or division. So if you subtract 103, the bigger number, minus the smaller number, 90, then 106 minus 93, then 100 minus 87, every single time you'll find a pattern of 13. We put the 13 on the plus side because it's the inverse of subtraction, is addition. So just to prove that our rule works, if you do 90 plus 13, the rule, you get our output, 103. If you do 93 plus 13, you get an output of 106. And then if you jump down 87 plus 13, you get an output of 100. So those all check off. And then you can use the rule plus 13 to solve for our input. So we know something plus 13 equals 25. This is missing addition, so we need to do the inverse operation, which is subtraction, and take our bigger number, 25, minus 13, our rule, and we get 12. If we do that, then we can take our rule and, oops, I just noticed that I wrote it wrong here. I accidentally put 25, my output, in my input, so I should cross this out, and this should actually be 12, because if you do 12 plus 13, which is the rule, you're going to get 25. So make sure you've got a 12 there. All right, check your work for number 3. From input to output, 33 to 45, up, 9 to 21, up, 84 to 96, up, 95 to 107, it goes up every single time. Your arrow goes up. That means our choices are addition or multiplication. So even though it's addition or multiplication, I check with subtraction or division to find my pattern. So I obviously can't check this one right away because it was blank at first. So I started with 21, the bigger number, and I subtracted 9. Then I did 96 minus 84. And then I did 107 minus 95, and every time I got 12. I put 12 on my addition side of my arrow because I use subtraction to check, and that's the inverse operation. So now I need to prove that my rule works. So I'm going to start with my first input, 9, and my rule plus 12, you get 21, check. Then 84 plus 12, 96, check. 95 plus 12, 107, checks off, so I know my official rule is plus 12. Now I need to solve for this output here. So I take my input, 33, my rule plus 12, when you add those together, you get an output of 45. And okay, check number 4 here. You look from input to output, and 82 to 76, 93 to 87, 43 to 37, that means it's going down. I'm yelling timber. You better move. You better dance. Draw your arrow going down. If it's down, our operation choices are subtraction or division. I use subtraction to check first. So the bigger number, 82, minus 76, I got a difference of 6. 93 minus 87, 43 minus 37. Every time I got a difference of 6. So that was my pattern. So now I showed my work to prove it. I took my input, 82, minus 6, which is my rule, and I got 76. That checked off. 93 minus 6 is 87. That works. 43 minus 6 is 37. That also matches. So now I just have to find my output right here. So my input is 57. If I do my rule minus 6, I get 51, and I can check that off. All right, flip over your paper. Okay, we're on the back of tables 2. Use this to check your work. So from input to output, is it going up or down? Input output is horizontal, but we still just look from input to output, so from top to bottom. 19 to 3, 72 to 56, 20 to 4, 53 to 37, that means it's going down. I'm yelling timber, you better move, you better dance. So I drew my down arrow and I looked for a pattern. I looked from input to output and I found my bigger number, 19 and 3. I decided to use subtraction to check, and when I did, I got 16. I did the same thing for 72, bigger number, minus my smaller number, 56. I got 16 again. Then 53 minus 37, I got 16 again. So I found a pattern. Then I checked it with my rule. I took every input, 19, and my rule, minus 6. I got 3. Then I did 72 minus 16, and oops, I didn't get 3 here. I actually got 56, which checked off. And then I did 53 minus 16, and I got 37. Then I needed to figure out what goes in this space here. So my input, I didn't know. Something, my rule I know is minus 16, and I know I'm going to get an output of 4. Since I have a missing subtraction sentence, I can use addition to solve it and take 4 plus 16 to get 20. To double check that, I should do 20, my input, minus 16, and I get an answer of 4, which is my output, so it checks out. All right, let's look at number 6. Remember, from input to output, so looking 29, 35, goes up. 93 to 99, up. 58 to 64, up. 61 to 67, which wasn't there at the time, but it's going up. If you check to find the difference, so when we're looking for a pattern, we can use subtraction or division. I decided to use subtraction. When I did 35, my bigger number, minus 29, my smaller number, I got a difference of 6. So if I do that for 99 minus 93, 64 minus 58, every time I get a difference of 6. So I find a pattern. Now I can check with my rule to make sure it works. And I take my input, 29, plus my rule 6, I get 35, that works. 93 plus 6 equals 99, that works. Then 58 plus 6 equals 64, which works. So now all that I have left to do is find the number that goes in this blank. My input is 61, my rule is plus 6. If I do that, I get 67 to go right there, and it checks off. Last one right here, number 7. From input to output, are the numbers going up or down? So 86 to 77, 57 to 48, 13 to 4, they are going down. It's going down. I'm yelling timber, you better move, you better dance. So I draw my down arrow and I look for a pattern. I always use subtraction or division to look for a pattern. So I take my bigger number, 86. I decided to subtract first. I did 86 minus 77. I got a difference of 9. Same thing when I did 57 minus 48. I got 9. When I did 13 minus 4, I got 9. So I found a pattern. Now I need to check my rule and show my work. So I take my input, 86, and my rule minus 9. I get 77. Then I do 57 minus 9, I got 48, which matches. Then 13 minus 9, 4, which matches. So I just need to figure out what goes in my output here. If my input is 56, my rule is minus 9, I get 47. All right, that's tables 2. I'll see you later.